Welcome, gamers. This week's episode of Last Call Gaming. We're on episode number 161. Today is February 17th. My name is Craig Prowse, and joining me for his first official appearance behind the camera in front of the mic, my friend Christian Vargas, aka CN.
CN, yeah. Hey guys, how you guys doing?
Nice. So you've done a couple videos with Andrew, and I know once upon a time, I think you were in here one time recording with us.
I was the live audience.
Yeah, you were the live audience. You were here for it, but how's it feel to finally jump in front of the camera?
Good. It's been a long time. I think we talked about it. I live in Chandler, so I know we talked about doing some video stuff.
Yeah, before you moved, because when Cien used to live here, it was supposed to be originally me, you, and Andrew.
Yeah,
and all three of them. I still have some of those old videos, I think, on one of my computers somewhere.
That's true.
So that's how it should have started.
Yeah,
but
161 though. Good shit. Though,
hey, moving along. So I do want to point out, guys, apologies that there was no video from last week. I wasn't able to record. I had a couple issues. So unfortunately, this week's episode is kind of, I don't want to say a rehash of what we were supposed to talk about last week, but I don't want to not talk about those things as well. So we will be covering them, albeit in a shorter form, because as of right now, tomorrow morning, Cien and my brother Gino and myself, we're all going to Vegas tomorrow, and with my cousin Augie, shout out to Augie, and we're to go to the Level Up Expo, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. It's something we try to do every year. Unfortunately, Andrew's not gonna be able to make it. He has his own family vacation kind of stuff that he's doing, so that should be a lot of fun. And then, if I'm not mistaken, we got tickets, which kind of leans into what we're gonna be talking about today, is to the Harry Potter play. I don't know if I think it's called the Harry Potter Live or something like that, but it's supposed to be, it's like 70 minutes or so of all books kind of put into one quick format.
Yeah, like an orchestra. So that was actually exciting when Gino kind of brought it up, and I guess we're all in for it, and we're going.
I gotta remember the picture. Did you pack any Hufflepuff socks?
No, man. Fuck Hufflepuff.
So guys, thank you for joining us. If you're watching the YouTube show right now, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit the share button, and ring that notification bell. If you guys are interested in following us on any of our social media, make sure you guys hit the Linktree link in the description of the video. And if you guys are listening to the audio only version of this podcast, make sure you guys check us out on any podcast platform you prefer. But Anchor, as of right now, is the home for us. And if you guys want to support us there and help us grow, feel free to do so. So before we dive into our main topic, guys, we'd like to do, what are you up to? We take a second, talk about what we've been playing, what we've been watching, just kind of, loosen up the old vocal cords. So, Cien, my man, since it's your first time jumping back here, why don't you let us know what you've been playing and what you've been watching, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this comes to any surprise. I think a lot of people have been doing it. But I've been watching The Last of Us week by week. I think that show is amazing. It's getting everyone's attention on how games should be adapted into TV shows or movies. But not only that, but I've been also binging The Succession. My brother has been pestering me to watch it over and over again. I finally gave it a shot, and I'm gonna tell you, man, my favorite Culkin is kind of coming up with Kieran. So
yeah, dude. So to speak on Last of Us, it's weird because I was reading something that it's one of the shows where every week it's one of the I think the only shows that have ever done it where every week it's grown like an exponential amount of percentage of how many people are actually watching it. So The Last of Us is fantastic, and it's so crazy you bring up Succession, because who'd you say is getting you to watch it? Your brother?
My brother, yeah.
So I started season 1 back in the day when it first came out. And then season 2, I stopped because I think I was going week by week, and I just kind of fell off of it. But I know Denny and Dante are big fans of Succession, so I'm just glad the show's still going, because Brian Cox is a beast. But yeah, you're right 100% that, is it Kieran Culkin?
Kieran Culkin
is just the man. I think he 100% steals that show.
It's such an amazing show. Anyone that wants to watch it, use this as a chance. It's on HBO Max. I think it's 3 seasons deep. Season 4 should be coming out soon if it hasn't already.
Yeah, I think season 4 is coming out on March 26th.
Okay, yeah. So I need to catch up before that because it's so addicting. It's so good. But you guys are gonna love Culkin, man. That guy is for sure a up and comer.
Nice, excellent. So what have you been playing? Son?
Yeah. I've been playing. So I have been playing a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. It's an online thing. I think Xbox has it, PlayStation has it, the Switch. You can do it on your mobile phone. But the 1-year anniversary actually hit this past week, so I jumped back on it, created a Dark Magician deck.
Ooh.
And I'm a big Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan as a kid. Was a big fan of Pokemon as well, but the way that they do the duel and the way that it's accessible to everyone when it comes to PlayStation, Switch, Xbox makes it so much better because you can connect your accounts, go anywhere. So I've been playing a lot of that. And then the one thing that kind of dropped in the last direct was the Minish Cap on the Game Boy Advance. So I started that. It's one of the Zelda ones I haven't played. So I got really excited when it dropped, and I just been playing that. I'm not too far into it, but so far I'm loving it.
Nice. That's definitely something I've been wanting to check out. So awesome, man. As far as what I've been watching, and this one really kind of skated under my radar, was that Vox Machina Season 2 has dropped, and that's on Amazon. All 12 episodes are out. I believe it aired on January 20th, so if you're watching this now, you can go watch them all. And I gotta say, it's just as good, if not better, than Season 1. The only person I know that I talked to in the circle that has watched it, I believe, has just been Denny and Dante, and I haven't had a chance to talk to Dennis about it yet. But if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's the online YouTube D&D series known as Critical Role. And what they do is it's based on their adventures that they play actually live at a table that they've now kind of adapted to an animated series. And it's cool because it picks up directly after the Season 1 finale. It's still got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is pretty awesome. What's cool is it gets way more into this dragon invasion, which is known as like the Chroma Conclave, which is awesome because the dude that does the voice of the main dragon is Lance Reddick, who plays Thordak. And if you know him, he's one of the main guys from Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay, yeah,
he was he played Albert Wesker in the new Resident Evil. So he's got that nice, powerful voice that I just absolutely love. And one of the cool things that I like about this show is, or at least this particular season, is it's showing a lot more origin stories. Like it's showing like how Grog started, how he became to where he's at. It shows a lot more on the brother and sister and their relationship with their father. So it's great stuff, all around good, solid D&D stuff. And I'm really hoping, I can't wait to talk to Gino about it. But if you're interested in any more D&D stuff and you didn't know Vox Machina Season 2 is out, go check it out because it completely, I didn't see any PR for it, but it's definitely out. I haven't really been playing much. That's going to be, I can kind of segue that into our main topic. So with that being said, guys, let us know what you've been playing and what you've been watching, and we'll try to check all of that out. So with that being said, guys, let's move into our main topic, and that is that Hogwarts Legacy is actually out now. It came out on February 10th, 2023. You could play it 72 hours early if you were able to get the deluxe edition that was digital only, which I was actually able to get. It's being reviewed pretty well, I gotta say. It's getting a lot of 8s, it's getting a lot of 9s, it's getting a lot of 10s. So I'll just say this right now. I've already beaten it. Cien, I would say, is probably more than halfway through the game at this point. It's getting a lot of great praise, and I gotta say, I think this game 100% deserves it. So before we dive into actually what the game's about, what's your first impression of the game? Like, I know we've been waiting. This game has been pushed back. We've all been waiting for it. Now that it's out, how do you like it?
Dude, it's one of the games I love, and I've actually been enjoying it more because me and my wife actually have been playing it together. So she'll take like about an hour or two to play it. I'll play it after her later in the night. But man, this game opens so much possibility, and it opens up the world of Harry Potter and Hogwarts and all that stuff into such an amazing way that it's such a good game, man, and it deserves the praise that it's getting for sure. And I'm actually kind of glad that they pushed it back because I would be afraid if it came out with any huge errors and people just kind of slammed on it. But so far, man, I've been having a lot of fun. I've been kind of just doing random shit than actually doing the story mode. When I told you where I was at, I was like, I've been lost in doing that stuff compared to the story, but hopefully I get to finish it within the next week. Yeah,
it's one of the crazy things about this game that I think it nails, and I think a lot of us were expecting that it would, is that there's just so much to do. This world is encapsulated with life, side quests, side missions. It's hard to talk to anybody who's pretty much bullying their way through the campaign without taking the time to smell the roses, go to the classes, fight the monsters, go everything. So one of the things I believe IGN had to say was this, and they gave it a 9. It says, Hogwarts Legacy's open world adventure captures all the excitement and wonder of the Wizarding World with its memorable new characters, challenging and nuanced combat, and a wonderfully executed Hogwarts student fantasy that kept me glued to my controller for dozens of hours. And I gotta say, they're not wrong. I didn't check my clock time because I leave my Xbox on, so it's never really accurate. But there's tons to do, and they're not wrong with saying that you can be glued. I mean, I was playing, like, I'm not joking, man. When I was playing it the other day, and I literally started playing in the morning, and next thing I know, 8 hours went by, and I felt like I didn't get anything done. Like I was still just kind of doing the room of requirement and doing all this other kind of stuff. So I just got to point out, they did find a way to build an excellent, awesome open world game. Now, it's not as big and sandboxy as, say, like a GTA or a Skyrim. But with that being said, once you look at the map, there's a lot of stuff to do. And even once because I went around and I've hit all the Flue Powder locations, which is, if you don't know, that's the fast travel system in this game. Every time I go by it and just zoom in, there's so many things, icons that I'm passing by. So it's like, the OCD in me wants to stop and knock them all out. But at the same time, I wanted to kind of get as far as I could to talk about this. The review is right. There's so much content in this. When you go to all these little hamlets, these little towns that they have there, there's people in there. There's people living in there. There's quests to go do stuff with people. The combat, like they said, is fun. It's fluid. The spells that you want to learn, like it's like a hunger. I'm like, you want to get all of them down. So one of the cool things that I was reading is that it actually was the #1 selling, I believe, on Steam as well as the PlayStation Store. So this game is doing very well. The plot summary is, starts in 1899. It's obviously a prequel to any of the Harry Potter series. You're playing as this 5th year who has the ability to see ancient magic, and you're brought to Hogwarts by who's kind of your Dumbledore character, your mentor, who's Professor Fig. And the antagonist of this is this character named Ranrock, who's the leader of the Goblin Rebellion, and he's kind of following the same clues as you. So just on a plot perspective, how did you like that storyline? Because the way I'm looking at this, I'm like, it was a really cool kind of different side from Voldemort, who wants kind of like this genocide and this pure blood, kind of a conglomerate of wizards, versus these guys who are kind of experimenting with ancient magic and kind of the old story. So without giving spoilers away, because it does tie in with your main quest, I mean, how do you like that plot?
I like it a lot, man. And I think it kind of goes into where this game did so well to tell its own story away from like you said, Voldemort, or even Grindelwald, if you saw those Fantastic Beasts movies,
right? But
it tied it in,
where
you found out ancestors who might be related to who, and it just
there's Weasleys and stuff like that, and blacks are in there.
Yeah, and dude, this game was so amazing in connecting the world of Hogwarts and Harry Potter in itself, but created its own story where it wasn't boring, it wasn't repetitive whatsoever. And I'm not fully done like you are in it, but so far I'm kind of glued. Like you said, there's times into where I'm watching something on my phone to kind of keep my pace going into a video game, but this one I'm just paying attention fully, man, because it's opening so much stuff where I'm like, I want to explore this now. I want to explore this now. Yep. But yeah, man, the story itself, I'm giving it for sure a 9 on my end.
Yeah, this was definitely, because again, people know I like to play with a podcast if the game requires, if there's downtime. I just thought this is one of the games I had to stop and put that down, because there's just so many, like even the side mission with the conversations are like, I don't want to miss. Like there's people you can go into, because obviously you get to pick your house. Actually, I didn't ask you this. So you get to pick your 4 houses, obviously. I landed into Ravenclaw. Okay. What did you end up getting?
So I did the whole port key.
Okay.
Before the game came out.
And explain what that was, because I didn't do that. So okay. What was that?
So you can download. There's a game that my wife plays. It's like a Harry Potter game too. It's like a pay as you go kind of thing.
Like a mobile game.
Yeah, mobile game. I forgot what it's called, but there's a website, the Wizarding website, that you go and you can actually get house before you actually play the game. And I did it. And it gave me fucking Gryffindor. Dude, and I'm not a noble person.
Yeah, you're not brave. Dude, you're not the sand of
I'm not noble. So as soon as the game came out, I was kind of glad it steered away from asking you questions and it just let you pick the house that you wanted to play. So I picked Slytherin. What other house are you going to pick? So I picked Slytherin. That's the house that I'm at. But it kind of has the Diablo vibes, where it gives you 4 different characters that you can create later on and play all houses if you want. But for now, I'm finishing it for Slytherin, for sure.
Yeah, I believe one of the achievements is to get to the chamber map, which is a place you'll learn in the game, as each house. Yeah. So it kind of encourages you to experiment with everybody. And I would say try it, too. I was almost going to start another character the other day, because I want to see all the dormitories. Like, you know what I mean? Like, right now I'm in Ravenclaw, and via the movies, we've seen a lot of the Gryffindor stuff. But, like, Dante, I think, is playing Hufflepuff, and he's like,
He looks like
and you see them all in the trailers, but like it looks like the Shire, like the Hobbits and stuff like that. So I'm like, that's really really cool to incorporate. So there's just a couple of things I kind of wanted to talk about, as quickly as we can, and then we'll move on. But just talking about the combat, it's fast, it's fluid, but one of the things I would say to not sleep on is the abilities to create potions in your combat, and because there's like. I'm using, that's one of my main moves. I'm using, I think it's called Thunder Brew, and it's the lightning potion. And then you can also use like different types of plants. Like you have the tarantula, and then the Chinese cabbage. And then also eventually you can start using your environment to start, if you're fighting a troll or like a statue and you knock his sword out of his hand, you can grab it and start throwing it back at him. So how'd you like the way they incorporated all the combat in kind of one fluid motion? Like I thought that might be the blockiest thing that this game had to offer, and I gotta say it's probably one of the most fun things to do.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. I saw this guy made a comment because I play Call of Duty, and right now before the new update went out, the movement was like just shit, And someone made a comment saying, how is it possible that Hogwarts has better movement than Call of Duty? And I think when I started using the dodging mechanic where you hold B and then you kind of disappear, you do like a little
that was awesome,
dude. Using that and then having the ability to switch your sets of combat spells that like you have
on the D-pad, yeah,
exactly. It's so smooth, so easy to do that, man. It's amazing that this game was able to do, because I was on your aspect too, where I thought it was going to be kind of choppy, having to deal with so many different characters and how you were going to lock into it. But this game kind of, makes it so easy.
Sure. Nice. Because there's one thing. So just kind of some hints, I guess, is if you haven't played it yet, when you get these talent points later on in the game, which is pretty early, you can start plugging them into certain aspects, whether it be stealth, the room of requirement, dark arts, your core. In your core wand, there's an ability to. So your D-pad holds all your 4 main spells, but then you can add another slot. So you can add up to 4 slots to kind of switch through all of them. Dude, I had it all set up too. I had like my combat, I had my blue spells, my lumos, I had all my way to travel through my dungeon, my utility spells. So in an RPG sense, it made, again, I'm with you, it made it very fluid. At first I was like, man, is this going to be a lot to remember? But instantly I'm like, no, right is my blues, left is my reds, up is my greens. So yeah, the combat's extremely satisfying. The other thing I wanted to talk about was just the traveling aspect. It's fun, and eventually when you get to the point where you can start flying, right? That's going to be an aspect of the game. No spoilers, it is in the trailers. You get access to brooms, you get access to flying creatures. It is amazing. I had a couple people over, Deandra and Melissa were watching me play, and I was just flying on my hippogriff in front of the castle during like Christmas. And I'm like, dude, this looks amazing. And one of the things is once you can start traveling, like I almost didn't want to fast travel as much as I think I was in the beginning, because I wanted to pass by things. Yeah, so how do you like the way the world looks and traveling, whether it's in the castle, whether it's Hogsmeade, whether it's the Enchanted, the Forbidden Forest? How did that look for you?
I don't fast travel whatsoever, man.
I
either fly or use my broom, or use the Chevy legs, man. Like I just start walking, man, to the beat of my own drum. But the flying is so smooth. I thought it was going to be choppy too. Like I kind of wonder, I was like, what are they going to do? Are they going to do invert? Like is up going to be down?
Right.
What are they going to do with it? But it's just so smooth and it's so satisfying, where you can kind of just go anywhere. And like you said, man, I just don't fast travel because I want to kind of explore everything. And when you sing it from above, the game looks amazing. Yeah,
I want to go down and look at everything, and it's they actually have a good flying mechanic down. It's not only a quick way to stop yourself from going through a boost, but just simply going up and down with the R stick just to raise your access on it. I'm like, dude, it's just so simple and it's so clean. The other thing I'm going to talk about, and we've already kind of been hinting at it, is the side missions. This is the core of the game. The main mission is fantastic, and I think once you beat it, you're going to go, wow, that was really, really entertaining. But I want to get lost in Hogwarts. I want to be in the world of Hogwarts. I want to be going to Hogsmeade. I want to be going to different parts of the castle, and the side missions let you do that. The side missions not only will give you rewards such as outfits and wand customizations and certain ingredients, but it's just experimenting through the rest of the castle, which leads me into my other part is how cool finding puzzles are in this game. There's points I was running by a bridge and I just noticed that I could light something up and I'm like, well, what's all this about? And I turned back around, I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. So between the side missions and the puzzles, I gotta say, it's a mechanic that's just, I'm not getting tired of it in any way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and I feel the same way. There's so many puzzles that you can find in the castle alone compared to just outside.
And then you go outside and you're lost.
Yeah, and I get freaking lost, but there's these puzzles. I don't know if you've seen them, the ones where you have to like kind of add and multiply or whatever.
Yeah, on the left and the right side of the door.
Yeah. I tell myself, okay, I'm just going to do this one. And I'm like, well, there's one right by
I'm getting stuck on the butterflies.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I said I was going to do this mission and go to sleep. I'll just do one more and then I'll do the mission. And then next thing I know, I'm doing 5.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, it's so addicting. And you know me, I'm a person that just wants to kind of go through the story, play the game, and then just kind of be done with it.
That's exactly how I am.
But this game, man, just kind of keeps kind of derailing me into something else that is kind of wide open. And it's just like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I'll get back to the game. Yeah. And then I just get lost.
Which I got to say is just a sign of a good game. I mean, I have a few, we can talk about this right now too. I have a couple complaints with it and it's nothing bad. Like there are a couple things, like when I was talking to Fig, some of the lighting was off on his face. And there was one scene, I don't know if I even showed you this shot that I took, a screenshot, where somebody was completely missing out of their cloak. But that's happened so rare for me. And I will say some of their faces look a little off with the eyes. And then I don't think some of the speech matches up 100% with the mouth. But like, if that's my biggest gripe, right? If the combat's excellent, the game looks good, the traveling system is fantastic, the puzzle and side quests are engaging, that I could care less if somebody's missing their hood on in their thing. So did you have any problems or glitches or anything like that? Did you have to restart the game at all?
So you're telling me Natty's lazy eye isn't it?
Well, I think it's part of her build.
No, I think I honestly only had one issue, and it's the one you brought up where like Figs, I think during one mission when he's talking in his desk, right?
Right.
Or during that, yeah. So the lighting was kind of off, and you can kind of see through him.
Mine was like lighting him up. Yeah.
But honestly, other than that, I haven't really kind of dealt with anything crazy.
Good.
So for me,
again, though, we are playing on the Series X, right?
That's true.
Okay,
that's
so
true. So I haven't dealt with anything crazy besides that one part, but everything else, man, it's been running smoothly for me, for sure. But I did hear that some people are having trouble with, like, in their maps, they can't find the troll dens. So when they're trying to find, I think one of the side missions is getting troll bogeys. They can't find the troll dens on when they find it. But luckily there was a couple of like goblin dens that you can go, and they either have like a troll on hold or in captive that you can kind of fight and get that. But I did see that some people were having trouble with that.
Well, yeah, I would say now that you mentioned that, one of the other big issues I had that was more kind of gameplay related was there'd be times when I would go to re-click a mission and the line went, because one of the things that I love is that it gives you a direct path on how to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And there was a couple missions I would click it and there would be nothing there to show me how to get there, and I'm like, okay, so that was a little frustrating. But again, though, I think this game is fantastic. I would say I would point out though, because I didn't know this at first, so hints and tips if you guys aren't this far yet, is there's a lot of loot to drop. You're going to find this a lot. It's like Borderlands at sometimes where you're getting so much stuff and you're constantly changing up your guys' look. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I'm like, I want to be able to look the way I want to look, but not lose any of the power. So later on, or at least maybe in the beginning, check on the appearance on X button when you're over the square. And you can keep the look of anything you've already collected. Yeah. So you can go back and look however you want to look, A. And B is if you feel like you're getting way too much items, and because there's no storage locker. There's nowhere to put gear because it lets you keep the look. Do the Merlin challenges. The Merlin challenges will unlock storage systems in your thing. It'll open up more gear boxes for you. So that way you can go and carry more stuff. Because there was tons of times in the beginning of the game where I'm like, dude, I have all my 8 slots are full. Like, I can't keep getting it. I'm like, I don't want to keep running back to Hogsmeade, and I don't know what to sell. So once I kind of stumbled upon that, I'm like, oh, cool. Just go knock out 3 Merlins as early as you can. That gives you like 12 more boxes. And then sell your stuff because you're going to be able to keep the way the item looks. And then go buy stuff that you actually really need.
Yeah, and claim your rewards.
Don't forget that. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, you'll have challenges. Claim the rewards because if you don't claim them, you won't get them. But they change the appearances of your clothes. So you might have a shirt or a cloak that you don't like, but you can change the appearance and make it look better.
Yeah.
So just make sure you guys are actually clicking and getting those challenges and rewards, because that's actually how you also upgrade your Merlin to get more into your pack. So.
Excellent. Yeah. So that's probably all I'd have to say. What I have to say. Is there anything else you want to add on Hogwarts Legacy?
No. Yeah, we're good.
Awesome. So guys, let us know if you're playing it and let us know what you think about it. And again, don't let any of the controversy surrounding the game stop you from enjoying a good game made by a solid studio that gives you tons of fun. If you like Harry Potter and you like being in that world, then just buy the game, play it, and have as much fun with it as you can. And don't let any of the nonsense surrounding it affect your fun of the game. So I'll leave it at that. So with that being said, guys, we're going to move into questions. But before we do, we're going to take a quick second to give our friends over at Manscaped a quick shout out. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor for this video, Manscaped. We are starting 2023 off right with our friends at Manscaped. Last year may have been a hairy situation, but with the Manscaped Performance Package 4.0, it's here to help you shave the day. The leaders in below-the-waist grooming have blessed you with the ultimate package. Tell your friends about your new cutting-edge ball trimmer and gift yourself or the man in your life the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Trim a little off your sack by going to manscaped.com and use the code LastCall for free shipping and 20% off. Like most of you guys, I used barbaric methods to trim my balls, but not anymore, thanks to Manscaped and the Perfect Package 4.0. Inside, you'll find their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to carry everything with you. So get 20% off and free shipping with the code LastCall at manscaped.com. Again, that's 20% off and free shipping with the code LastCall at manscaped.com. And trust me, fellas, your balls will thank you. All right, guys, that is our friends over at Manscaped. Make sure you guys check them out, get your code, and get your 20% off, and take care of business the proper way. So with that done out of the way, guys, let's move into questions of the week. Now, guys, if you want to submit a question that we can read on air for you, you can do so a couple of ways. You can either leave a YouTube comment in the comment section down below. We can pull it from there. You can send it to lastcallproductions@gmail.com, or you can find me at Craig Paralis on social media, and I can take it there. So our first question comes from Jason R., and they write, did you guys catch that Nintendo Direct? It showed off quite a bit of stuff. Metroid looks awesome, but what did you think of it? So yeah, unfortunately, if we were doing the show last week, we were going to dive much more into the Nintendo Direct because it did have a lot of stuff that it showed off. It showed off, I think, around 30 plus games, and a lot of it looked good, but for time's sake, we're just going to keep it down to, I think, I'd argue, the three biggest things that were shown. And we can start with the first one that you brought up, is the Metroid Prime remake. And yeah, we are now living in this golden age where remakes are coming. And the weird thing is, I wouldn't call it shadow drop per se. Actually, I guess maybe it was, because it is out, right?
Digital.
I don't think anybody saw this coming, and I think a lot of people were happy to see it because, like Sam's pointing out, if you want to buy it digitally, you can get it now as the time you're watching this show. But if you're looking to get a physical copy of it, that'll be out February 22nd. And there's no denying that Metroid Prime was the game back in the GameCube era that kind of redefined Metroid and Samus and the way the game played when it kind of... Because that's the one that first turned it into like an FPS, is that right?
FPS, yeah.
Yeah, so... You've already started playing it. How's it look? You're saying you're playing on the OLED?
Yeah, so I barely started. I haven't gone too far. I think I'm in the first mission. But, man, on the OLED itself, it looks amazing.
You're docking? So you're playing it handheld then?
I'm playing it handheld. Okay. I haven't played it on a TV just yet. I probably will eventually because that's what I typically do. I have a monitor that I kind of play my video games on, but... this remaster has to be one of the best ones that I've played so far in this early stage, into where it looks amazing. It's an actual remaster, and it's a game that I think a lot of people wanted remastered for so long. And I'm glad it came out into the era where the OLED was available, because I'm telling you, man, it's the only way to play this game for sure.
Oh, so you think I shouldn't do it on? Because I have an old Switch and I have one of the newer ones, but I don't have the OLED yet. Do you think it'd be a waste of time to do that, or is it worth upgrading my hardware to give it its full glory?
That's
I don't want to buy it if it's not.
That's like telling me...
I'll take your word for it.
Do you want to play Hogwarts Legacy on an Xbox One?
Fair.
Or on a PlayStation 4, do you want to play on the Xbox One
That
S,
is
right?
fair.
Or the Series X. But it's amazing. I think anyone should try it if you guys are Metroid fans, especially in FPS. But this game itself, man, what I've been seeing so far and what I've been playing is just amazing.
Nice, yeah, because I haven't played this game in a while, and I never beat it either. I bring Nick up a few times when he used to live at my house, and I remember we played it. But I remember like the rain coming off the visor and stuff like that. I just remember this game being like something so different. So it is something that I'm 100% looking forward to. But I'm going to take Cien's word for it and wait till at least maybe I upgrade it. Or maybe I can go buy it for $20.
I bought it digitally, but this is one of the only games that I'll probably also buy physically, because I'm a big fan of the Metro Prime series. I think the only one that I didn't play was on the Wii, which was Metro Prime 3. So I'm more than likely. I think I already pre-ordered it. Who's lying, right? So I pre-ordered it to get it physically for Best Buy. So I'll pick it up. And then I'll let you borrow it since I already have it digital, so you can try it.
Oh, that'd be excellent.
It's a game that no one should for sure. If you guys are Metro fans, miss.
Nice. So that was one of the big ones. Obviously, nobody saw that coming. The other big one is the thing we've been waiting for. It feels like 5-10 years,
dude. And
that was the fun. And we kind of touched on it when Andrew and I did the top 5 most anticipated games, and that was The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. And this game is finally coming out this year. Months away from its May 12th release date. Cien's actually the one that turned me on to Breath of the Wild. Now, I had an issue. I have a hard time playing Zelda games that were like that, just because it was so different, and I still haven't had a chance to actually run through Breath of the Wild. But as someone that I know you ran through it, I mean, you see the new one. Is this more of the same, do you think? Or does this look like a new game?
I think the biggest things that I've been seeing online is like the graphics.
Yeah.
Kind of look the same a little bit. But to me, man, Breath of the Wild has to probably be in my top 3.
It's in a lot of people's Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, if not, like maybe the first one, but I'm gonna hold it for Zelda on the Super Nintendo.
There you go.
But man, this game to me, it looks amazing. I'm excited to see how they incorporate everything they're doing with like the Sky Kingdom. It seems like, and having to kind of go up and then go down.
Yeah, a whole new vertical of the game.
Everything looks amazing about this game itself. I love the open world of the Breath of the Wild. I think I ran through everything probably 2 to 3 times. I did all the shrines. The only thing that I'm missing, and it's been like 5 years, is the seeds. And I'll eventually go and finish that up. But man, I'm so excited for this game. I'm not only gonna buy it, but
You're gonna beat the shit out of it.
I'm gonna buy the collector's edition. It's like $129. It's sold out everywhere. I think the only 2 places it hasn't dropped is Best Buy and Amazon. So I follow everyone on Twitter that's dropping hints on it, on when it's going to drop, and I'm going to be on there just ready to get that collector's edition. So this is for sure probably my top anticipated game for sure.
Nice. I love that. And I love that you bring that up, because Cien is my guy. When I say, hey man, I got to make sure I'm going to try to get this when it drops, Cien's the dude that's texting me at like 5 in the morning going, all right, it's up, it's up, it's up. So excellent. Yeah. I don't want to feel like a poser. I feel like at this point I'd have to go through Breath of the Wild before I would get on Tears of the Kingdom. And there's no reason for me not to. It's just, there's just so many games constantly coming out to go back. It is something that I'm going to do my best to try and do. But that was the other big thing. The third big thing that I would say that dropped on the Direct is the fact that the online Switch bundle got a little bit bigger. It started showing off today that there was, or not today, then that there was going to be added Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games. Now, the Nintendo Switch online games that they were showing for the Game Boy service was going to be Tetris, Super Mario Land 2, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DX, Gargoyle's Quest, Game & Watch Gallery 3, Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, Metroid 2, Return of Samus, Wario Land 3, and Kirby's Dream Land, with more games coming. There was a couple games that it showed at the end that were going to be in later this year. And then for the GBA, it was Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Advance 3, WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games, Kuru Kurin, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga, and The Legend of Zelda The Minish Cap. So this is a great looking bundle, and it's I think it's fair to say, especially coming off of the N64 stuff that they just had, is that the Switch Online package is finally looking, exciting and enticing and very good. And in terms of if you weren't on it before, it might be worth getting now, because also they have the Sega Genesis games and things like that. So I think it's hard to say that this is something they should have started with, right? It seems like that this should have been something that should have been back in the day, but at least it's something moving forward that Nintendo Switch is still being able to offer. So what do you think about them adding Game Boy and GBA? And was there any game on there that caught your eye?
Yeah, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the Game Boy and Game Boy Color is free on the Switch online. I don't think you have to have the package.
Okay,
the
excellent.
Game Boy Advance one, you have to have the package. I might be wrong on that. I think I heard that somewhere, but I think I was telling you, man, I've been searching for a SP for the longest time, because one of the 2 Zelda games I never beat was Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages.
Right.
And when I saw that those are some games that are going to be coming out for the Switch later on, as part of the Game Boy Color bundle on the Switch Online, I lost it, because like, not only am I saving $200, I'm buying an SP 101, but I'm able to play it on the Switch OLED, better lighting, and then I'm just able to enjoy those games kind of on my own way. So I'm excited for those 2 games to come out. I think the Pokemon trading card game will be coming out later on as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely for that one.
But yeah, man, this is a big win for Nintendo adding this. You know, I think it kind of cools down people expecting the GameCube online thing that a lot of people have been talking about. But this for sure is kind of, you know, giving them a little bit more to kind of stay on the online aspect of things.
Well, yeah, and it's just more games that lend themselves to staying handheld. Like the Switch, obviously you can do whatever you need to with whether you're docking it or you're not. But this makes like the Switch a Game Boy again. It makes it like, hey, here's Game Boy games, here's GBA games, and one of the cool things they showed was they're adding the filters. So now you can kind of swap between the old, you know, the like Game Boy, the GBA, the Color. They were showing that you can do co-op with local, online, and things like that. So some really cool mechanics. I gotta say, WarioWare is the one that caught my eye. That was a game that, dude, I used to get lost in back in the day, and I absolutely love it. So that was the one. Once I saw that and caught my eye, I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm definitely in. And I think you are right. I think the GBA ones are going to be with as long as you have online, and then I believe the GBA ones are part of the bundle pass, at least as far as I can tell. But yeah, I think it's a solid overall move, man. Again, I think it's something they should have started with a while ago, but I think you should have went Game Boy and then N64. But I mean, now that they're here, I'm glad they're here.
Yeah, and again, I think I think they were hearing the people with hoping that the GameCube thing was next, because I think it seems like that's the direction they might be going to. So kind of giving them this as like, you know, a carrot like on a stick, kind of, you know, keeps the people at bay. Like, okay, we're gonna finish this because now I have Minish Cap to finish. Yeah. Hopefully, you know, the other games that they're bringing in. And
that's the thing too. If they're just starting with, you know, 6 games per, I mean, all they have to do is in 6 months add another 6, then add another 6. So it's like
then the NES, the SNES has like over like at least 15 games each.
Yeah, it's growing, man, and it looks good. So. Excellent.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited.
I would say those were the 3 biggest things. There was a ton of other stuff to take away from there. That Samba de Amigo game looked awesome. Yeah. There was a bunch of stuff on there, guys. So if there's something that caught your eye, make sure you leave it down in the comments below and we can discuss it. But I'd argue that those were the 3 biggest things that come out of that direct. So the next question, guys, comes from a friend of the show, Talha Kasim, and he writes, question, what are your plans for this year? Anything significant you guys are planning to accomplish, like goals on YouTube or personal aspirations? I know this isn't gaming related, but I'm curious. And again, if you guys want to submit a question, remember, it doesn't have to be gaming related. It can be about anything. Half the fun is sometimes when we get to talk about shit that's other than video games. But I do like the question, and I would say one of the main things for YouTube is getting more people on. Like when Cian said he was going to be in town, I'm like, dude, then let's aim to try to get you on board. Our friend of the show, Devin Collins, I've mentioned him a few times. We're working on getting him more on the show. So I'd say we're trying to do more people on the show besides just Andrew and I, and then Gino when he's on. And then we're going to be dropping more content. So, like, for example, Mandrew just did a Dead Space review. If you guys want to go to the channel and check that out, that is going to be something we're going to be trying to do more of. Other things would be hitting up more events like this. Now that COVID is slowly dying down, we can slowly start doing more events and things like that. So going to the Level Up Expo with a group of us is something that I know is a lot of fun, but I don't know. How would you answer that, Sam? Is there anything personal or any aspirations you're trying to get done this year?
Yeah, I mean, being on the show every once in a while, I think visiting a little bit more so I can kind of be on the show, as a special guest kind of thing would be awesome. As personal aside for myself. I think, like you said, I've been wanting to go into a little bit more events. Last year we went to Comic-Con, with my wife and kid. That was pretty cool. But with COVID, it's just kind of restricted on what you can do. So now that it's being lifted, like you said, going into more events, like the Level Up that we're going on tomorrow. There's Level Up Expo in Phoenix that hits every August that I'm excited to go to as well.
Let's plan that.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that kind of stuff to kind of just be able to do things a little bit more with everyone and as a group. But yeah, trying to just be on top of a lot of stuff because I have so much backlog too, man.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, man. Beating games is just and dude, coming into 2023, it's already just a stacked lineup, man. So, it's gonna be a wild year. So, thank you for the question, and we appreciate it. And the final question, actually, we went on, pretty good on this one, so it's actually pretty much a full episode. Our final question comes from simply Carl, and they write, "Well, the new Ant-Man and Wasp is finally here. Were you guys hyped at all when you saw the trailers? And do you plan on seeing it soon?" So yeah, by the time you guys are listening to this podcast, I believe Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania came out today.
Yesterday.
Is it yesterday for the midnight release, and then today as an official release date? As far as the trailers go, I only watched one or two. No, there was a third one. Yeah, I gotta say it looks cool, but I could see how it could turn someone off. It doesn't look like traditional Ant-Man stuff. Ant-Man in the MCU has been his movies have been the smaller ones, the heist movies, and then you look at this one, and this thing is like a CGI. A lot of people are saying this looks like the Star Wars of the MCU. There are reviews out for it, and I'm generally hearing positive things. More saying that Kang is supposed to be an awesome villain that rivals, if not passes, Thanos, which I'll keep my reservation for that when I see it. That's a hard bill to try to pass up. But as far as seeing it, yes, I usually generally wait till after the first weekend it's out, unless I'm going with people. I usually go watch it on a Monday or Tuesday when the crowds are done. But you have plans to see it sooner if you can, right?
Yeah, I mean, I try to watch these type of movies within the first couple of days it comes out.
Because you don't want nothing spoiled.
Yeah, exactly. And being on social media and all that stuff, you find a lot of spoilers when you don't want to. We were gonna watch it on Sunday, me and Dirty D when we came back from Vegas, but I think that switched and we're gonna watch it next week. But just like you, I've been hearing good reviews about it. I heard a lot of praise around Kang. Jonathan Majors, man,
dude, he's
that guy
boss.
Is on a tear.
Yeah.
The last couple of years and being on Creed 3, I think, as well as the main villain. So I'm excited for Ant-Man. Like I said, it looks like a huge CGI movie. Hopefully that doesn't derail the story or how it's building up, because I think this is opening up Phase 5, right?
Yeah, this will be. I believe so. Yeah, because I think Phase 4 just pretty much came to an end. This should either be the last one or the beginning of. So.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people are kind of hoping, because Phase 4 was okay. So I'm hoping the movie
quality.
Yeah, but the MCU is kind of met with this one. So we'll see. I'll wait until I see it before I make any judgment on it.
Yeah, because I would agree with you. I would say a lot of people would agree that Phase 4 was, I wouldn't say the weakest, but the least entertaining at least. I mean, there were still good characters, but I think this was clearly the one where they have to now, hey, we're losing the old team. We have to try to start siphoning in the new team. And that's kind of what Phase 4 was. And to a lot of people, nobody wants to see the new guys. They like the old guys. But moving forward, we're going to have to be doing that. So, I can't wait to see it. Hopefully by the time, Monday, Tuesday rolls around, I go see it and check it out. And hopefully it's awesome. But I did hear that there are 2 post-credit scenes.
Yeah.
So if you are going to go watch it and you're watching this first, make sure you stay. There will be 2 credit scenes that I'm hearing are worth checking out.
Yeah.
Not worth going home and then watching them on YouTube, because you don't want to stay an extra 5 minutes. But that is everything, guys. I super appreciate you joining us for this week's episode. Super shout out to my buddy Cien for joining us. So, guys, that is the end of episode 161. Join us next week for episode 162. But until next time, guys, my name is Craig Perales. This is Christian Vargas. Cheers.
Cheers.